everybody, and welcome to qualifying for the 2023 Monaco E-Prix. We are back at the Principality circuit as well, and it is unaltered, which means Formula E and Formula One will be at the same pace on a whole new generation of cars. We've got the time from Formula 1. We got this morning's time in FP2 of a 1:29. But are we going to see anything faster in qualifying where everything gets turned up to the maximum? We can only hope. To begin with, though, Nicky Shields is down in the pits talking with Mitch Evans, who was fastest this morning.
I was leading the last lap 2 years ago and just missed out just with lacking a bit of energy at the end. So yeah, we've always been quick here. It's just haven't been able to convert that win, but we've had good results. Obviously the pole last year, so I really enjoyed the track. I've been on podiums here in other categories as well, so but never that win. So it haunts me a little bit, but you can't force it. If today's my day, it will happen. But yeah, it started off well, but we've got qualifying coming up next, so we need to have a clean quali and put ourselves in a good position.
And just quickly, given the fact that you have had this great run of results, you've now kind of probably put yourself in title contention. 24 points off Pascal Wehrlein. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even when I was 80 points behind, I was still feeling optimistic. But there's a lot of points up for grabs between now and London. I think it's anyone's still. 24 points is more than close enough to be in contention. So that's one race win difference. So yeah, no, I'm happy to have had a good run of form, reduce that gap, recover a bit, and hopefully we can continue that trend. And hopefully our bad luck that we've had at the start of the season is that's it for the year. Right. Well, you've been very quick this morning in free practice, so good luck for qualifying. Hopefully that form continues. Thanks very much, Mitch Evans.
Well, it's nearly time for qualifying, so let's go on board with Max Günther, who was quickest in this morning's free practice session in the Maserati. Through Sandivort, nice line through there, just pinching the inside curve as we climb up the hill towards Macedé. And we go over this crest. This is where the drivers, you'll see, using slightly different lines here. Max using a slightly tighter line. We have seen other drivers using a little bit wider trajectory around the left-hander past the Hotel de Paris. Through Casino Square, Max having a bit of a slide there. There's a dip in the road, which sort of launches you out towards the barrier on the left-hand side. Through this next section of corners, these next 4 corners, Mirabeau, the hairpin and Portier, it's all downhill. And in the race in particular, this is an opportunity for them to recover energy, regen the energy that they've lost climbing up the hill towards Casino Square. The exit here out of Portier, massive. Important for the drivers. I'm just going to pick a point here because this is for the first time we can actually see the numbers on the dashboard. So the Maserati team choose to have the information for the drivers. There you can see that's the tire temperatures and tire pressures he's got there. He's also got his lap time and some of the energy information on the steering wheel for him there, which is quite useful. Braking for the chicane is really tricky because it steeply drops downhill, sort of a cliff there at the 100-meter mark. So the rear of the car is always sliding around. Get through the chicane, really important to get a good exit from there as well. And up towards the back, the barrier on the inside, incredibly close there. And then flat out through the chicane at the swimming pool, coming through the second part of the chicane and up towards Raskas. Günther on this particular lap here, slightly tight on the way in and actually ended up.
I love presents. Get ready for
Okay, it now looks like an advert has appeared on our stream, which is bizarre. So someone's having a really horrible time down there in the commentary box to put an advert over a live broadcast. So I have no idea what is happening there in terms of things because someone's pressed the wrong button, obviously, and I can control when there's ad breaks being shown on the YouTube channel, so why can't they? So we're just trying to get back up and caught up with live speed as well as we're getting ready for the session to get underway in around about 40 seconds time, actually. The session will go green as we are waiting. You can hear, look, the times 2 speed now desperately trying to get us back up to speed. Pascal Wehrlein, Jean-Eric Verne, Mitch Evans, Sam Bird, Rene Rast, Stoffel Van Dorn, Andre Lotterer, Norman Nato, Dan Ticktum, Sasha Fenestraz, and Robin Friends will be in this first session as well. Well, the green light is about to go on in about 8 seconds' time. Ed Hunter is going to be joining me in around about 10 minutes towards the end of Q1, or Group A. And hopefully we're going to go green. And we're underway for qualifying here in Monaco around this 3.337 kilometre track. And are they going to head out? We're waiting for them to. And green light, away we go. They're all heading out now onto the circuit. Let's get the thoughts, though, of Dario and Jack Nicholls.
Sorry, he didn't take pole position, but he won here last year, so he is a danger. But those top four really should be, you'd think, the top four that will go through. Scan the QR code in the bottom left and join in with Formula E Predictor. It'll take you to the app, and you can get involved there, and it's a lot of fun. And one of my favourite things, actually, is seeing what you guys reckon is going to happen before each duel. I really enjoy it, and I especially enjoy it when last race Alan McNish thought the opposite to all of you all the time, and then he got all of them wrong. So you guys know more than Alan McNish. There you go. Cars out on circuit, then making their way up the hill. Dario Franchitti with me for commentary, and I thought I said the Alan McNish criticism just for you, Dario. I thought you'd like it.
Well, it's not often Alan gets it right, to be honest. But that was a very good. Anyway, moving on to qualifying. This is going to be nuts. The margin.
Yeah, the margin for error is going to be next to nothing, so we're really in for an interesting one.
Absolutely minuscule.
And I think if you're, well, how are you feeling if you're Pascal Wehrlein? I know it's a difficult question because different drivers have different feelings, but you're coming into this qualifying session knowing you need to be in the top four in this group, but also knowing didn't have much pace in free practice.
Yeah, exactly. But the time between free practice 2 and now, you'll have spent with your engineer just going over every.
Didn't have much pace in free practice.
Yeah, exactly. But the time between free practice 2 and.
Well, this is getting ridiculous as we get across the line then. Our timing screen's about 20 seconds behind our own TV pictures, which is great. So this new system obviously not working. Sam Bird is on a lap time, running up the hill towards Beau Rivage in towards Massenet, and is just at the top of the hill now as well, getting it in just ever so nicely as he continues on the pace, down now towards the hairpin at the top of the hill at Nouvelle, and then into the Lowe's hairpin as well, or the Grand Hotel as it is now more fondly known. Evans has set the fastest first sector time as well, so there's still a little bit between them as they fly through Portier, get on the exit, a little bit of a wiggle as they accelerate up. And Evans actually now in a quite comfortable position, I want to say. Like, it's not too bad for what we need to see on the TVs as they come out. Bird's looking quite quick. Again, little glitch on the timing screens, puts us a second behind the TV. Bird's flying it up towards the water, 105.873 in the middle sector as he approaches the swimming pool chicane. And yeah, look at that. Evans fastest in the second sector as well now. So 2 sector times are different for what we need to see. And this isn't working as well on our TV picture side of things up in the commentary box. So let's go over as Bird crosses the line.
Sam Bird at 31.6 for Bird. Here comes Evans across the line. He goes quicker than Bird by 0.6 of a second on a 1 minute 30.9. Lotterer slots into third place, 1.4 seconds off. So it'll be a couple of minutes before we get the big laps incoming. Van Dorn coming through the final couple of corners now in the DS Penske, drives towards the line, and where does this put Van Dorn? He goes third fastest on a 1 minute 31.1, 0.2 away from Mitch Evans. So next push lap incoming. Pascal Wehrlein's doing another prep lap actually on this run, so that's sort of out prep for Wehrlein.
Yeah, and he'll have the tyre pressures, the tyre temperatures up on the on the dash as well. He can tell exactly, get the tyre into the window for its best performance, because if you get, even if it's just the front tyres out of the window, the car's not going to handle it. You've got to get absolutely everything perfect. As you see Verline now coming through Saint-Devote, heading up the hill towards Beaurevache. It's so important to get a good exit out of Saint-Devote because it is such a steep hill. I walked up it once in a stag night and I was definitely out of breath.
That is a story we all need to hear more of, but I fear we are unable to in this qualifying session. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Jean-Eric Vergne quickest in the first sector in the DS Penske, and he's almost 4 tenths up after the middle sector now. So this is a quick lapping coming from Vergne. I didn't mention him. Well, he's as you see Oliver Turvey in the middle there. Turvey won here in Formula Renault 3.5, I think, a few years ago. Here comes Vergne out across the line. Van Dorn's following him on circuit. Vergne is third in the championship and is now quickest on the times, 4 tenths quicker than Mitch Evans. Van Dorn slots into second place, so DS Penske 1-2 at the moment.
Pascal Verline 3 tenths slower through the first sector alone, a couple of tenths through the second sector. He's half a second down already after two sectors of the lap.
Here comes Robin Freitz. Pole position last time out. Before that, his best qualifying was 19th in the opening race of the season. After the middle section here, he's 6 tenths down. Ooh. Van Dorn and Vergne, the 2 DS Penske's, under investigation for a technical infraction. Now, we've seen a lot of technical infractions this year with regards to tyre pressures, running tyre pressures too low. Robin chucking it through Anthony Noakes, but usually that's in a free practice session, and it doesn't then happen in the race. So we'll try and find out what Van Dorn and Vergne are under investigation for. But if they have broken the rules, that could lead to them being disqualified from qualifying as Evans fights the car into the Nouvelle chicane.
Yeah, a bit of traffic there. The traffic it's best to get out of the way, but it's still unsighted Mitch, and he would have been hesitating just a little bit on the brakes as he enters the swimming pool now. You can see the traffic further ahead. I don't think he's going to reach it though. The second part of the swimming pool, absolutely critical. He missed it a little bit, the apex of the left-hand part. Watch the Jaguar through here. A lot less understeer in the Jaguar than we saw with the Abt car of Robin Freitz.
Here comes Evans. Out across the line, less than 5 minutes to go in this session now, and Evans goes quicker by over 1/10 of a second. So we're seeing Vergne and Van Dorn have pitted. The Jaguars are still out. Fenestraz, Tipton and Nato have been through the pits. Rast is in the pits as well. So I feel like the Jaguars now are maybe staying out for the whole session on this one set potentially.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be a very short second run if they come into the pits. Absolutely. You see Vergne pit lane now in the DS Penske. The wheels on that car are just so cool.
Yeah.
That's P1, 10.5 to Jeff. Fast-ish in. Take care of these tires, you know the plan.
Fast-ish in.
So he's coming in.
He is coming in. Take care of the tires, we know the plan. So it might be, we've seen a few times this year, drivers come in and just sit in the pit lane for a bit, waiting for the tyres to cool down rather than actually necessarily change them. Here comes Verline, Florian Modlinger, the team principal of the Porsche squad, watching Verline come through Mirabeau, 1/4 of a second down in the first sector alone.
Listen to the tyres chirp. It's not only that chirping noise, but there's a vibration to it too, and that shows you how much understeer the car's got. The tyres well beyond its slip angle, and they're just chirping and bouncing across the surface of the corner. And the front is just not turning, which means Pascal Verline cannot carry the speed that he wants through some of these 90-degree corners.
The chicane. On board on the right-hand side, heading to Tabac.
They'll be approaching these corners so much quicker this year than with the old Gen 2 car. It completely changes the shape of the track.
Verline 4 tenths down after the middle sector.
And Lotter are up to P3.
One more corner to go for Pascal Verline. Lotter the fastest final sector of anybody so far. The Rast has just left the pit lane. And Verline goes 4th fastest. So that would put him in the duels at the moment, but he's right on the bubble with Van Dorn on an outlap, Verne on an outlap. Bird and Evans are still in the pits, so they're going to be going. Their outlap is going to need to be fairly pushy. So they are. That's very interesting. Here's Verline's radio.
Okay, that's a cool down now. Cool down now. Good job. Good improvements there, mate. Good improvements.
A little bit of encouragement from Carl Wilson-Clark. Here is Jean-Eric Verne coming into the final couple of corners now. Bird leaves the pit lane, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go, as does Evans. So they're just going to be doing out push, and I think their outlap will be quite pushy. So different strategy for the Jaguar squad compared to the DS Penske cars, for example.
Yep, and they're flying through on board with Jean-Eric Verne as we've got our TV pictures stabilised. We're using a PlayStation 5 as our TV pictures at the moment, and I wish I was kidding. That's the only way we can get through at the moment as well. So, on board with Jean-Eric Verne as the clouds are sort of hovering above in a few mixed conditions into the braking zone. Takes it down a couple more tenths. At the moment, NATO, Evans, Fenestraz and Ticktum are the ones going through to the next phase of qualifying. Verne is out, Lotterer, Verline, Van Dorn, Bird, Freins, Rast, all out at the moment as they exit Portier, which isn't really a port anymore because they've built some more buildings on it. Maybe even going to extend the Formula 1 track here in Monaco as well. Verne into the braking zone for the Nouveau chicane, all out of shape, coming out of the tunnel, just about makes the apex. Continues on the hard run, up towards to back. Flick the car in. Now through the swimming pool chicane. Left, then right. Then control the brakes as well as you brake in towards the second part of the swimming pool chicane. Into Las Cas. Double into the right. Now one more into Anthony Noakes. Control the rear, don't let it slide out and touch the barrier. Then literally put pedal to the floor and let the electric charge gain up. 34 seconds left in qualifying. Where does Verne go? He doesn't manage to improve. Verne stays in 5th position. Now, here's Stoffel Van Dorn. He's 8th at the moment for DS Penske and is looking to improve. His first 2 sectors are good. Middle first sector for Verline not so good as they continue to slide through. Out of the last corner, Van Dorn up towards the line. Does he get through to the top 4? 6th only. DS Penske are having a nightmare race here in Monaco. Checkered flag is out. This is it then. On board with Pascal Verline. He's coming through the swimming pool chicane. Verline is currently 8th fastest. Is he going to get through to the Jules segment as well in the quarter-finals? It's going to have to be a little bit tricky to see into the last 2 corners. Pushes hard. Evans is in, looking good as well to maybe go faster. 7,000 going quicker. Lotterer ahead. Here goes Verline. Verline goes 4th. Out goes Ticktum. Look at Andre Lotterer. Lotterer takes the flag and goes fastest. Andre Lotterer kicks out Verline. But Evans is only 3rd. Rast crosses the line, goes 9th. Here comes, this is Sam Bird. Sam Bird's 10th fastest here in Monaco. Makes a little error. Coming into Raskas. Continues on the power. Through down again. Evans has gone top. 1:32.85. Can Bird go through in Monaco? No, he's only 10th. Sam Bird will start the Monaco e-brief on the back of the grid. Across the line. The rest of the drivers not improving. NATO in the Nissan, fastest with Fenestraz in 2nd. And Lotterer is kicked out by Ticktum. Van Dorn, does he kick out Evans? No. Van Dorn goes 6th. Evans gets through by the skin of his teeth. Nissan top, Group A, with a 1:30.138. Fenestraz goes through, Ticktum and Evans as well. But out, Lotterer, Van Dorn, Verline, then ahead, Verne, Rast, Bird, Freins. Jack.
Up in the offices upstairs at Nissan.
What a session.
Nato, Fenestraz, Ticktum. And now, I tell you what, if you'd have asked me to name the top 4 going through, I'd have gone Evans. That's it. I wouldn't have named any. I wasn't backing a double Nissan dual appearance.
I would have said Evans and Tictum. I called out Tictum in chatting with Vernon beforehand, but yeah, Mitch Evans for sure. But great job by the Nissans. There's a man there who's been under pressure. Tommaso Volpi, he'll be happy with that qualifying performance.
Well, let's get the thoughts then of Ed Hunter, who's joining us now in qualifying. Hello, Ed. What a first session that was. And literally, I've never expected to see both of the Nissans top a session. That was incredible.
Yeah, well, Norman Nato, I think, lives in Monaco, has been here several times. He says it's pretty much a local race for him. So it's not surprised that some of that local knowledge came in handy, but it looked like the Nissans did the best at keeping the tyres cool. Everyone else putting a lot of energy through them. And the only other Tictum, of course, doing very well to sneak in there as well. And who was the fourth one?
Evans got through in as well.
Evans, just about, yeah.
My pick a winner. My pick a winner this week, Mitch Evans.
I haven't picked a winner yet. I was going to wait till after qualifying.
Yeah.
In the FEZ show, I told them Tictum was going to win, and everyone was like, nah, that's stupid.
He's still P3.
We didn't have enough time in the call, so I said no time to explain.
Well, nice to have you back, by the way, after not being in Berlin.
Sadly, we can't have Pico and Jack Giovanni because they're in Monaco at the
They
moment.
are, yeah. I saw him. Literally, I was scrolling through Motorsport Images to find the background for this weekend, which is actually the background you're looking at now, the Principality of Monaco. And all of a sudden, I see Jack. Do you know what I mean? I was like, what?
Yeah, just talking to Tictum. And in fact, we got that same. There we go. Well, DS Penske's didn't make it through anyway, so all their times got deleted.
So that's
for a technical infringement.
good news then for Sam Bird, because that's going to promote him a couple more rows up the grid on our start on row 8. We'll get you back your thoughts in qualifying 2 in a second. Let's head over to the pit lane, because Oliver Askew's with Vernon Kay on his last Grand Prix weekend.
Just missed out by, I think, over 1/10 of a second. So the margins are so small around this track. The drivers are letting it all hang out, and interesting to see both Nissans up there. The Neo of Dan Tictum, usually they're not qualifying so well, so looking forward to seeing those guys start up at the front today.
Yeah, Dario called it earlier on, but let's talk about Mitch Evans. He's doing what he needed to do. He needs to continue his journey through to the duels to really put pressure on Pascal Wehrlein, who once again had a shocker in quali.
Yeah, it's a shame for Pascal not making it through. We know this track is difficult to overtake. Mitch Evans doing what he needs to, just to keep pressure on that championship fight. That starting position today, you know, he'll be in the top 8. It'll be so important for him to finish in the points today. And I think he's finished second the last couple of years or so here at Monaco, and he's watch out. He'll definitely be looking to win this race.
Let's talk about Nick Cassidy. Dario and Jack were saying that he's not been out yet this morning because there's a regen problem. Do you need those warm-up laps to just get comfortable with it?
Yeah, definitely. These tires are operating in such a small window, and we see now on the broadcast pictures that steering wheel that has the tire temperatures, the tire pressures. Usually those are color-coded to make sure that they're in the right window.
All right, let's go back to Jack for the commentary.
So, both of the DS cheaters getting their lap time... DS cheaters, that's Mark for you. Okay, both the DS Penske's getting their lap times deleted. That really hurts Jean-Eric Verne, who's been going for a title challenge as well in the past couple. So that now puts the order from the last session. Now, Nato, Fenestras, Tictum and Evans, they remain the same. Lotterer, Wehrlein, Rast, Bird, Freins, and then we get Van Dorn and Verne, which with this penalty disqualification, which Q2, they'll start at the back of the grid. So, Monaco's always exciting, Ed. We know it. We love Monaco for Formula E. We've seen some great races here. Is this year with the new Gen 3 going to be even more exciting, or can they charge through from the back? That's my point. Can we see DS come back through?
I'm not too sure. It was interesting. Oliver Rowland yesterday was saying he expects the energy saving to be worse than Berlin. The only difference in Berlin is it's harder to overtake around Monaco. Not impossible as we've seen, but it's definitely much harder than somewhere like Berlin where you can go 3 or 4 wide. Here you can maybe go 2 wide.
Yeah.
If you time it right. But yeah, it's as we see Hughes just step the rear out at Anthony Nose. Maybe we should call it Anthony Hughes after that. But anyway, Norman Nato, it's interesting. Norman Nato qualified quite well in Sao Paulo as well. So not been having some great luck lately. So hopefully if he can get a good starting position here, he could maybe get into the picture and get a good result. A podium for Norman Nato would be amazing, so I wouldn't rule it out, especially after that quali lap. in the group stage.
Yeah, if you heard, by the way, a little PlayStation notification, that's because I was an idiot, Ed. I've been an idiot all season long. You know how we've been constantly having problems with qualifying and the practice sessions when we do them live and we try and commentate together because the picture freezes. That's because the Fire Stick, I've brought it down to the garage, forgetting there's a PlayStation 5 upstairs with YouTube that I could just stick it on there and use the same cable. So I've been an utter idiot for the past 3 months. So at least now... 5 months actually as well. So we've got it on now, finally fixed, so that we can do qualifying more often. Because in Berlin, Jess is going to kill me now. If we figure this out, because in Berlin she was literally having to listen to me through a Thai microphone.
It did seem a bit like put together at the last minute as we look at Hughes just throwing around, but Mortara lighting up timing screens at the moment.
Yeah, it really was put together last second, thanks to everything. Thank God Formula E today is only a
Jess did a good
day.
job, though, to her credit.
Yeah, love Jess in the commentary box for that.
Yeah, we'd love to have her on again, I'm sure.
I think she'll be on.
And also, it was great that she was, like I would usually do, just constantly pointing out your mistakes and correcting you.
Yes.
Like, this imaginary Nick Cassidy win that you seem to have made up from Diriyah or something.
I couldn't work out.
Because I'm pretty sure he's only had 2 wins, which was
yeah.
Berlin last time out and New York's season 8.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Saturday race, wasn't it?
It was the Saturday race in New York, yeah. One ball casting out.
In fact, there he is now.
Yeah.
hey, it's more relevant.
I honestly don't know where I got it from. Also, my brain couldn't accept who was the winner on Saturday. I said it was completely different or something as well. I said Evans won on Saturday.
Well, it's funny because if you've seen the driver's press comments that we uploaded, thank you very much to Formula E for giving us the footage because Jack's camera failed. But what happened was that Vern was sort of making a point about how he likes the single races like Monaco better more than the double headers. He says, "Oh, well, you see, you have a race on Saturday, you win, and then somebody else wins, and it's like, oh, who's the winner of Berlin? Like, whoever won on Saturday, you've forgotten already." And then Mitch Evans is sitting right next to him, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, Jeff."
He's right.
It's quite funny.
He is. I completely forgot.
Yeah, I think that is one of the problems with double headers. Oh, Dennis gets very close to the barrier there, but luckily brushes off it.
He's getting
Andretti mechanics, the sort of breathing a sigh of relief they don't have to do any repair job. Not sure what Mortara is looking at. Maybe he really likes the back of his halo.
I don't know what is he
maybe
looking?
He's training for rain as well.
Yeah, that's fine. But that's amazing if he's looking for the weather and he's keeping
It could
on.
be that the camera is positioned a little bit up in the.
Yeah, I'm hoping that. Otherwise, he's just picking out his new penthouse in Monaco. That's what he's looking for. Everyone's boxing when they've set fastest first sector times as well. So that's interesting.
To cool the tyres down because they're putting too much energy in, and the surface is so smooth that it's not giving any grip.
It's a really unusual track for Formula E because, like in Mexico, it's a Formula 1 grade track. So the tarmac, as you say, is super smooth. The way usually we're used to bumps, you hardly get any bumps here in Monaco. It's an amazing track for that.
Here's Buemi then on his first run.
Is he going to go faster? He is currently...
Yeah, DaCosta has done a really slow lap, 11 seconds off the pace, and now he's gone for a quick one.
It's always the way, isn't it? Across the line. Buemi only goes 5th. Wow. So he can't even get ahead of Cassidy. Muller now immediately beats him as well. So these are the banker lap times that we're seeing in Group B. Duels are going to be fun later as well, especially with the mixed conditions we've got.
Interesting thing here is can Sete Kamara get through as well, like we saw Tictum do?
He's also now...
That is the qualifying special, and this is the circuit to be a qualifying specialist at, really.
But to immediately throw your point as a commentator's curse, it's just flashed up. Sete Kamara under investigation for a technical infringement, Ed.
Oh no, he's done exactly what the DS Pinskys did.
Oh no, is he going to lose the lap? Well, keep an eye if he loses the lap time as well. Just quickly, also just a reminder, we've got the British Touring Car, Championship Practice 1 is currently live as well with timings and driver tracker. Alan Hyde, trackside, providing the commentary from the BTCC radio as well. Josh T is going to be trackside tomorrow for all of the races as well that we'll have live for the Miami Grand Prix. So that's just a little plug for that because I know some people are watching both streams at the moment. Roland in 10th position, closing in, just a little bit wide. And Ed, did you know that you can now join the commentary box without a camera on and still be able to talk without disrupting anything now? We found a way.
Yeah, it seems to be okay at the moment, so I'll stick with it. But, I'm not sure if you guys can see the camera, but I can.
Yeah, we'll see the camera.
Obviously, I've set up a big screen because I've been in a lot of as you see Sete Kamara just emerging side by side of Roland, having to let Roland through on his quick lap. but we've been doing a bit of Formula Sim Racing broadcast practice, and I've been using a Shadow to take over the streaming PC that's been set up, and it's a very good PC, by the way. And it only really works when I get my extra monitor out. So, so I sort of decided to get move the stop motion aside for a while I focus on that. And also a bit of editing.
I'll tell you one thing though. It seems to have smoothed
that's
your
why I'm
laptop.
constantly looking off to the right. I'm sorry.
So I'm looking up as well. It seems to have smoothed your camera out because I think now it's not all on the same thing. Your laptop, touch wood, I've got some over here. Seems
my
to be
main
okay.
laptop screen is empty. It's all on the monitor, external HDMI monitor. At the moment, it's busy to cost to start another lap. And Dennis, after brushing the wall, seems to be okay. So he's just come out the pits again. I thought I could have sworn Lotter was going to get into the duels for a while there, and I think he ended up 5th or 6th in the end in a Group 1. So yeah, it could be a lot of surprises near the end. It looks like everyone is saving near the end of the session to set their best lap. Sorry, I'm doing even worse commentary than at Milton Keynes 2 weeks ago. They still haven't paid me for that, by the way.
Haven't they?
Which,
Oh,
maybe
no.
tells you something. Well, to be fair, it's one of those things where we need to send an invoice, and they haven't given us enough details. And my dad is like, "Oh, you need to get into some." And it's like, oh, you need to tell the track manager. And I sent emails to the track manager and not heard back from him. So it could just be that he's got a backlog of emails, or they thought I was so bad that they don't want to pay me. Which kind of sucks because there was a sort of implicit agreement that the other commentator told me, well, it's £100 per day. And also, it does cost quite a bit to go to Milton Keynes on train, especially.
And plus, it's Milton Keynes, as everybody says. That's very disappointing you have to be there.
Yeah, well, try living in Hawley.
To Costa closing up. Now he's set a good first sector time. Buemi's now under investigation for a technical infringement. Wow. So everybody's
is this to do with the pit exit maybe or something?
I'm wondering if it is, because everyone keeps cutting it, I've seen. It's that yellow line that you're not allowed to go over, even on this part of the track.
Well, if it's a technical infringement, it wouldn't be a sporting infringement, though, would it? It must be something to do with the power spiking, maybe.
Oh, but look at Mortara, though. Fastest in the middle sector. Gunther's fastest sector.
And the Maseratis doing well at home, aren't they?
Yeah, I was about to say, they've come alive this weekend. I've never seen the Maseratis this fun before as they fly through.
Well, I like the mind your head message on the Halo.
For Mortara, that's pretty much needed after last time out. Let's take a look.
Ooh. Mind your left front as well, because he goes right next to the wall.
Gunther's taking the fastest times. Mortara, though, does go top. 1:33.07. Here comes Gunther to immediately go faster.
Gunther's going to beat that, surely.
Oh, with ease. Yeah.
Well, with ease, 1.5 temps. But that's not exactly easy.
Sete Cam in the Neos are going to find something, but he is under investigation, remember. Let's see what he does across the line. Goes from 5th to 2nd only. 95 thousandths off the pace. Okay. Who's next crossing the line? We've got two. We've got that's Cassidy. Hughes takes a 2nd place, 4 thousandths off.
Very good lap by Hughes.
Whoa, that McLaren is quick. Dennis, however, is going to struggle. We're going to see championship protagonists littered across the grid here, which is fantastic.
Where's Rene Rast? I don't remember. Was he qualifying in Group A?
Yeah, Rast was in Group A. He was 7th.
Ah, that was it, yeah. Oh, look at Dennis is backing off for Tabac quite early there.
I'm surprised. We saw Degrassi this morning, remember, in practice.
I guess these cars don't have the same front downforce as a Formula 1 car, of course. So
yeah, and they're sliding with it. Yeah, Degrassi found that out.
More of a corner you have to brake for rather than just turn in and hope for the best.
I heard one of the drivers, I don't know where it was, but say that they find Formula E cars in Monaco a lot more challenging than any other series. And I can see why, as you come across. Dennis only 7th. Not a great time. It's turn 1. Cassidy 5th. We've lost TV pictures up in the box. That's not our fault. That seems to be the fault.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hello. There we go.
Dennis on hyperspeed. That's his way of cheating by creating universal lag. So that it's like turbo lag, essentially, except with it's a quantum-based engine system.
Quantum force.
Well, you slow time down so that you go faster.
Here's Cassidy then. Oops, sliding.
Oh.
My word.
That's where Leclerc binned it a few years ago.
He's pushing hard into Anthony Noakes then. Is Cassidy going to go top dollar? Across the line he comes. I don't think so.
He might be able to get past Mortara, maybe Sede Kamara as well. Maybe it's a good lap here.
Doesn't improve.
No.
Wow, stays 5th. That's a surprise.
Yeah, good in the middle sector, but the last sector was a bit slow, isn't it?
Muller's on time as well in the Apt. Fastest team, of course, in qualifying back in Berlin. In wet conditions, the car sort of came alive and activated. He's really throwing it through the swimming pool chicane into Raskas. Brakes. Just looks so on course. This could be top 4 for Muller if he can keep it together. The second sector down was
maybe
top
5, I think. The best. Let's see.
Muller crosses, goes 5th. You're right.
There we there we go. Pessimism wins. It does seem like that front row lockout. I did say afterwards, because having missed the race and qualifying, it's like, well, did everyone have a collective hallucination while I was away or something?
Yeah, everyone
but no,
had
it did happen.
It did.
And
it
it's
really
interesting. It's all to do with how they got the Hancooks to work in the wet. And of course, Apt have got the DTM team that also uses the Hancooks as well. So there's a little bit of experience there. But I think mainly also just a bit of wet testing pre-season, as well as we see DaCosta across the line and can only go 9th fastest.
And now here comes Mortara. He's on the bubble here in 4th position. Cassidy, Degrassi, Rowland still on times. Mortara goes 3rd. That puts Sete Camera at risk. Cassidy's in the middle of a train, though, with Gunther ahead of him. That's not going to be good. Behind is where Degrassi is.
We're going to hear an angry radio message from Nick Cassidy in a second, I feel.
Yeah, I think so.
5th.
Only
but
5th.
Only 5th.
I think that's it. Rowland crosses the line. Doesn't do anything.
So it depends if Sede Kamara gets just taken out or not.
Rowland to 7th. Okay, time is good dates. Okay, so it's Gunther, Hughes, Mortara, Sete Camera, the top 4. But we're now all worried about the fact is that Rowland's under investigation now as well for a technical infringement. So that's half the field nearly in that session under investigation.
Well, good news for Brahimi. He didn't have a great session because 2 of the people ahead of him are under investigation, so he could be 6th in his group rather than 8th, as we look at Vincent Wang hurriedly trying to figure out who to call to make the penalty go away.
Sorry for that. Had to lock up turn 3. So none was better on the last lap. Yeah, no worries, mate. But yeah, good.
So good
Just a lock up at turn 3, that's all I've got. Okay, let's hand over to Jack Nichols. We'll find out some information shortly. Rowland's now under investigation as well. Nearly all the field, I think, have been called to the stewards. Right, I'm going to go stop the touring cars, and the Jules are up shortly. Ed, you have the mic in case anything, so you can react to things as well.
Gets investigated kind of after the session, and then you get a grid drop or you get a whatever. Whereas I don't know if in this, if the stewards have kind of got time to look into it that quickly almost in order to then remove Gunter from the session. So we'll see.
Is Gunter in the investigation?
Exactly, if he did anything wrong. There's Sylvain Filippi.
He'll be instant messaging the FIA right now for or somebody in the organisation will.
Yeah.
To investigate that.
Well,
because that can change the whole outcome of your day.
Yeah.
You know, that can be the difference between between starting on the 5th row and potentially starting on pole position.
Well, at the moment, it is Gunter quickest, Hughes 2nd, Mortara 3rd, Sete Camera 4th. Those 4 all through into the
so Max
part
Gunter,
of
Jake
qualifying.
Hughes,
The duels,
Mortara,
which will be coming up in a
Sede
couple of moments'
Kamara.
time.
That's your top 4 then. With Cassidy potentially getting through if either.
So Gunter quickest,
or
Hughes 2nd, Mortara 3rd, Sete Camera 4th. Let's head down to the pit
Or Sede
lane
Kamara gets in
and
trouble.
see what Radzi's up to.
Yeah, just out the DS Penske garage. I'm joined by Deputy Team Principal Nicholas Madoui. Unfortunate circumstance today. Both drivers having their points deleted due to a tyre pressure issue. Can you explain exactly what happened?
Yeah, sure. We have been informed by FIA that we have had an issue in the tyre pressure, so we will need to investigate that. But we recognize that it seems to be the case, so sure.
Oh, thank
and
you. I really love
consequences are quite harsh
hearing Nicholas Madoui speed it up
all
there.
our lap time
Well, to be
have
fair,
been
Ed,
deleted,
so
so we
Megan's thing at the
will
moment,
start
so
at the
to do
back
that
of the
is
grid,
quicker.
very likely.
Okay.
In terms of Jean-Eric Verne, obviously he's in title contention. This is now throwing a lot into jeopardy for him. What will success look like today, do you think?
We will do everything we can to fight back and to show we have shown some strong pace this morning. So we will try to fight back during the race.
Thanks so much for your time. Race well today. And Nikki, it's over to you.
Do everything
well,
we
I'm down
can.
here in the Maserati garage with Team Principal James Roster. Congratulations, home race, a massive race for Maserati. You've also got the big boss, the CEO, Dario Di Grasso here, both into the duels.
Yeah, great performance from both of them. I mean, amazing effort from the whole team. We've been fast all day so far, so hopefully we can continue that into the duels.
bit of controversy there. Do you think Max Günther held up Nick Cassidy at all?
There was definitely nothing intentional from our side, so that's all I can say.
So nothing to worry about then?
I hope not, no.
Good, good. So what is the strategy going to be for qualifying for you guys? Obviously, we saw some brilliant race pace from Max Günther in Berlin. Is that looked set to continue today?
Yeah, we actually learned a lot also from the rookie test, believe it or not. So we found some useful tips, and I think that we're looking quite good. I'd like the 3 points for the pole, so that's the goal.
And there's obviously a little bit of added pressure here this weekend, being a home race. Well, I don't know. Maybe there isn't. Maybe you bask in the excitement of lots of VIP guests here for Maserati this weekend.
I think that's been the key, is managing the pressure, managing the expectations from everybody. You know, we got a great strategy going into the day, and we followed that through. Everyone's in a great mood and just trying to deliver the maximum potential we can.
And have you had a chat with the drivers this morning? Obviously, Monaco, there is so much anticipation around this race. Everyone wants to add that trophy to their cabinet, don't they?
Well, the nice thing about being here is that from our sim prep, we actually came out and drove some laps of the track. So we really made sure that we made the most of the fact that we're a Monaco-based team.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Good luck for quali. Thanks very much, James.
Qualifying duels.
Some laps. Don't know how they've done that other than on the sim, but yeah, it looks like our connection is really struggling today, guys.
We'll be getting underway in a few moments' time in Monaco ahead of the 9th round of the Formula E World Championship season. Nick Cassidy has been told by the team, stay in your car. They're sort of, you know, hoping to look into the blocking
so Nick Cassidy's
element,
been told to stay in the car then, in the hope that Cedric Kamara gets a penalty, I think.
Well, there was nothing intentional.
He gets into the duels.
So, but
I think the key word there might have been intentional.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't look as though there's any investigation going in on Max Günther just yet. So this is how the lineup will be: Tictum versus Fenestraz, Evans versus Nato, Mortara versus Hughes,
Tictum Fenestraz, our first duel, quarterfinal. And Evans versus Nato, Mortara versus Hughes, and Cedric Kamara versus Günther.
A fairly unlikely lineup in the quarterfinals. Love it. We'll see what happens in this following session. It'll be Tictum versus Fenestraz first of all. Quarterfinal number 1. They've not faced each other before.
Never faced each other, these two. Here you go, you got Dan Tictum, Neo 333 versus Sasha Fenestraz for Nissan Formula E. So Tictum will go first,
Jack. I think
followed by
guys,
Fenestraz.
a lot of them with maybe the less efficient powertrain, so they struggle a bit more in the race, but the one-lap pace, yeah, is not in doubt whether that's...
And away we go for the first quarter-final, which will see Tictum versus Fenestraz. That was timed well.
I think you weren't coming, Josh.
I'm here. Don't worry. It took a while. Has it gone wrong again? Has it frozen again? Ooh. Something?
Yeah, it reminds me of commentating solo at Milton Keynes again. Although, to be fair, I think... He's in your ear talking about something to one of the marshals or whatever, and it completely puts you off because it's often really loud. And yeah, I had to sort of find a balance. We sort of put it on a portable radio in the end, and the problem there was that I kept putting it too close to the microphone because I kept forgetting I had it in my hand, and I would keep feeding back.
Yeah,
because you had to keep turning off the mic when you weren't using it to conserve battery as well. It was a lot to get to grips with, but it was good fun, and everyone was pretty nice to me, at least anyway, not to each other. The parents were like eating each other out, and like, oh, why do you can't talk to my son like that, and oh, you better effing sort it out. And I'm a commentator, only been here 2 days. Well, actually, no, they didn't tell me to effing sort it out. They told me to sort it out, and then they started sorting it out. So better than Cub Scouts, where they immediately just told me to effing sort it out.
That is true, yeah. Evans and Nato out next. Do we get anything from the investigations, by the way?
No, all we got was James Foster saying about Günther, and with who was it behind it? It was Cassidy said, well, we didn't block intentionally, so hopefully we avoid a penalty. And we've not heard anything about Sergio Steady Camera, so he should be able to stay in the duel then. But Nick Cassidy's staying in the car just in case something happens. But
good idea.
It would be a bit odd mid-duels for something to change. They would have done it in the gap in between, you'd think. And there we go, Tictum versus the start of the lap then.
Yeah, and we're massively behind with our TV pictures. I thought they were up to date since I left the commentary box. Apparently they haven't.
It paused a few times.
All right, I'll go fix that. I'll fix that then. That's probably because I was mucking around with other things.
I've got it on my phone if need be.
Oh, great.
I'm just looking at Fenestraz going through turn 1 now.
Yep, on the same pictures. That's great. So we've gone back to the original. So I'll go
marginally ahead then.
Yeah, Tictum's ahead by 44 thousandths in the first mini sector. First sector for Tictum's a 26.203. Fenestraz is coming up to that zone. He's ahead in the first mini sector, but that's not the sector point. We need this one.
He was a little bit wide through the hairpin, wasn't he, at lows? But it seems to work for him. He's caught up a little bit through the tunnel then. Before the tunnel, sorry.
One thing I don't get is, why don't they just go on board live with both drivers? Because it would be interesting to see both.
Well, I guess the problem is with the onboards is they wanted to do it where they've got them sort of timed. The first guy's time delayed, so they're sort of out at roughly the same time.
I know, but it's ridiculous.
And the problem with that is if someone messes up, then they're clearly behind.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
Put it on live.
It's still quite nip and tuck then. Fenestraz currently ahead by 400, or just under a tenth then. So it's going to have to be quite the final corner from Dan Tictum to swing this. I think Fenestraz has got this. The Nissan just seems more comfortable here, doesn't it, Josh?
Tictum across the line, and his time in the Neo is a 1:29.326. And Fenestraz exiting the last corners now.
3 temps up. Yeah, I thought it was a tough final sector for Tictum.
Considering that we're now 20 seconds behind on the TV pictures, I'll get this sorted for the next run. And Fenestraz across the line with a 1:29.031. He's done it. Sasha Fenestraz goes through and wins the first quarter-final. We are 21 seconds back. So me fixing it did absolutely nothing.
It did pause twice while you were away, I think. But anyway,
right,
so
I
Tictum will start no better than 5th then, I guess.
Paused again.
No, low about like 6th, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's paused again. Isn't this just dandy as well?
No, I still got it on my phone. I can tell you what I'm seeing. Just looking at slow-mo Fenestraz through the swimming pool chicane. Looking very relaxed there, the French-Argentinian. And, of course, he's the local driver, of course. There's this weird thing. We see Norman Natter about to get going with Mitch Evans in quarterfinal 2. So, not sure who's going to win this one.
Well, lap time cancelled.
I would say Norman.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, go on.
Buemi, lap times 1, 2, 3 and 4 cancelled. Lap time deletion.
Well, Buemi, who we said was going to maybe take advantage, is now actually been penalised himself. So that's Buemi then. He will start near the back of the grid then. Absolutely at the back, because he's not set any times at all, I don't think.
No, so this is going to be even worse. Our TV pictures, by the way, now massively delayed. Thanks to something going wrong. But it's because everyone keeps messing
Mitch
around.
Evans goes into turn 1 then to start his lap, and then Norman Nato not far behind. So here we go. We've got in fact, let's just act it out, Josh.
Yeah,
Theatre
get it on.
Here we go. Mitch Evans at TCS Jaguar Racing. Norman Nato for Nissan Formula E. Lovely livery. They've got a big cherry blossom yacht, Nissan. They bought with them this weekend.
So Evans flying through. I've just had a wonderful idea, Ed, that I'm going to go sort in a minute in between the sessions. I'll leave on with something else.
Sure thing.
So after the quarterfinals, I'll get it fixed for the rest because I'm going to connect an Ethernet.
So Evans ahead at the moment. The man who won in basically the big winner overall, I think, in Berlin. Yeah. First on Saturday, 4th on Sunday.
5th everywhere else as well, coming through. So Evans' first sector time to 26.108, which is pointless because Evans is still in the first sector, whereas on my driver track he's at the last corner. That's how far behind the TV pictures are.
I'm just looking at him going through to back at the moment.
You call it, Ed. You've got better pictures than me.
Okay, so through swimming pool comes Mitch Evans sliding in, lovely marking on those tyres. I guess it's because the race is sponsored by Hankook, just like Mexico was. And in fact, Nato, we see in picture, slowing through to back, even faster than Evans was. He's actually neck and neck. It's 0.014 between the pair as Evans goes through the last corner. Anthony Nodes goes as early on the power as he dares and flies towards the line. What time is it going to be for Mitch Evans? It's going to be 1:29.350. And Nato is vastly ahead. So it's the final sector where the Nissan just completely bites in and just gains time through Larascas through the swimming pool. And Nato, there we go. He's going to be 2.5 temps ahead then as he crosses the line. And that's Norman Nato through to the next stage. And he's probably going to face his teammate Sasha Fenestraz then in the semi-finals.
Fantastic stuff. So Brilliant stuff
Best
from Nato.
qualifying for Norman as well. And he's got the Jules Bianchi tribute, if you see on the top of his helmet. Number 17, which of course is his number 2. And it says, "We miss you, Jules."
That's a wonderful tribute. Ed, I am 42 seconds behind the TV pictures.
Oh, meaning a lot.
That is wow.
The ultimate question. But yeah, of course, this is where Jules Bianchi got his best, one of his best performances in Formula 1 as well, the 2014 Monaco Grand Prix, where he finished 8th on the road, but got penalised the 9th. Still scored the only points for Marussia. Now it's Mortara versus Hughes then.
Yeah, and they're going to
This will
start
be
there.
interesting to see what the Maseratis can pull out here, and against the Nissan-powered McLaren, of course.
Didn't know that. The timing screens is now confusing me as well. Mortara, Hughes. Because it's been tough.
I'll tell you what, we'll know if Sede Kamara avoids penalty if he shows up in the next quarter-final. Anyway, Eduardo Mortara crossing the line now, Josh.
Yep, you've got it.
Mortara, of course, had a bit of a difficult run of form. Even in Berlin, he wasn't really... Gunther was sort of outscoring him, basically, throughout both days in Berlin. Got the podium. And Mortara will be desperate to strike back here. And I believe Mortara is one of the guys who lives here in Monaco. The Swiss Italian driver is there, so Hughes diving into turn 1. The Nissan just looks really confident under brakes and on power, doesn't it? It's got good mechanical grip, the Nissan, and that's absolutely crucial here.
We've been told Roland's lap time has been deleted for technical infringement as well, so basically my qualifying tracker just may as well tear it up because nothing now is not going to happen.
Okay, here we go then. So Jake Hughes for Nemo McLaren, as I call him, and we got Eduardo Mortara for MSG Maserati, Monaco Sports Group, of course, here in Monaco, the home race, and it's neck and neck at the moment. 0.015 between Mortara as he goes over the curb at the chicane, and it's Hughes ahead then by a tenth, though, not by a whole lot. And Mortara's really going to pull out something special in the Maserati, the DS-powered Maserati, as he slides through the swimming pool chicane. He's not leaving anything on the table, of course. Mortara, I believe his best result here is... Oh, and look, there we go. The McLaren, the Nissan-powered McLaren has gained 2.5 tenths then, Josh, as they go through the final few sectors. So already in Sector 2, the McLaren's got the advantage. So I think powering that curb has really hurt Mortara. 1:29.4, so not a great lap there by Mortara.
Hughes goes through then. And now it's Sete Camera versus Gunther in the next segment of qualifying. Are
we going progressively further behind? There we go. Hughes gets through then by about half a second in the end. So a very good lap for Jake Hughes. Let's see. I think it's... I can't see what it is because they've gone away from it.
Me too.
They went immediately to the McLaren team wall.
I've got that. I've got it on now actually as well. So my laptop has now got the stream open instead of the PC. So ignore the PS5.
1:29.082. That was Jake Hughes' lap. So Mortara, he's done. So next, I think it's going to be Gunther versus Sede Kamara.
Yep. That's next up. Now I'll go fix the problem again. I'll put it on an Ethernet cable as well, and I'll leave.
83% think that Gunther's going to win, compared to 17% for Sede Kamara.
So a long way away.
Local elections all over again. What is there? Where's the Green Party option? Well, I don't know.
Well, they were arrested in Berlin, of course, because the protester. Can I get your opinion on that? Protesters blocking a Formula E race.
Going onto track, a live racetrack in any circumstance is probably not a good idea. It's not something we should encourage. However, I feel personally, and this is just my opinion, you're going to disagree with this, that and it was last generation, or letzte generation as they call them in Germany. I feel that Formula E is because it's sponsored by SABIC and basically a subsidiary of Aramco, because Formula E made these commitments to sort of net zero energy, and then they've got these slightly dodgy partnerships, which, as Jack Jonamana told me, we wouldn't be racing if we didn't have this, because they would have ran out of money. And I think there are other ways of making money, but I think it's sort of one of those things where once they start the contract, it's hard to get out of it. But I don't know, as we see Gunther and Sede Kamara both start their laps in quarterfinal 4, I feel Formula E is a legitimate target. But and I feel worried about the way because in the UK at least we're seeing, like in the Coronation, peaceful protesters who aren't blocking anything, just protesting the placard against the King's coronation, and they're being like arrested by the Met and carted off into the back of vans, never to be seen again. It does feel quite like protest has become a sort of, because it's such a threat apparently, just to even stand against these big powerful interests. It feels like you're not allowed to do it anymore. So while I condemn the method, I don't think I feel like if Last Generation had a clearer message about what they were protesting against, like maybe if it was deliberately the Neil McLaren, oh look how close it is, but not anymore. Sete Kamara pulls ahead then of Gunther in this duel as he goes through the chicane.
And Ed, Sete Kamara is under investigation for qualifying procedure, so there's something he's done wrong as well.
Is that 2 investigations on
yeah. This qualifying has been an absolute chaotic mess.
He's so far ahead at the moment. Gunther really messed up, I think, while you were asking me that very big question there.
Came through the last
it's
corner.
not a good idea, by the way, Josh, for future reference, for the person who's got the closest coverage to live.
I know,
I've got it.
I've got it as well.
A big political question. There we go. 3 attempts then. So because Gunther is clawed back a little bit, but wow, this is a good lap by Sete Kamara, and Gunther's sort of been caught out here. Sete Kamara crosses the line. It doesn't show what time he set.
1:29.273.
There we go. So victory goes to Sete Kamara, and you can tell I've swapped out, ticked him out of the car now. He's been knocked out, and Sete Kamara goes through.
He might get it out. Hang on. Did he? Oh, he left the pit lane on the first green. He left the pit lane on the first green light.
Oh, that could hand it to Gunther then.
What was he doing? What was... That Gunther did it too. Gunther did it too. They both did it. They both left on the wrong light. Both Sete Kamara and Gunther did. Well, that's a penalty for both of them.
See, I would argue Sete Kamara left when it was 1 green, and Mortara crawled out slowly when it went to red. And look at Vincent Wang's expression as well.
It's on our pictures now. So on board. So here's Gunther. He's going on a green, but then the red light comes on, but he still goes up.
It goes
so
up as he's leaving as well. So he sort of stops halfway and he's like, guys, what do I do?
So why isn't Gunther under investigation? We've only got Sete Kamara. So what is going on now? Everyone's looking around a bit confused.
You know, sometimes I feel like Race Direction just deliberately puts a red light on in the pit lane just for, you know, giggles.
Yeah. Right, let's go
just
over.
Just to ruin someone's day.
Let's go over to Jack then.
Fantastic lap. I wouldn't have picked any of the 4.
I'll be back in a second.
So far, Nato, Hughes, Sete Kamara today. That was it just shows how unpredictable it is.
Yeah. There is Gunther back in the pit lane.
Just in this strange position now, Jack. He's sort of, on the one hand, he's thinking about getting out of the car, and the team are saying, no, stay in. We don't know what's happening here. So we might be in the next round. Just hang on.
Yep, so Gunther going on standby just in case that he's able to somehow sneak in. But I think it would be very harsh if Sete Kamara loses it because of that, but we'll have to see.
Evans' time. Okay, here we go. Sete Kamara. So red light here. So he goes here, Sete Kamara. And then it goes red there.
Yeah, the coverage, the audio sounds very delayed, Josh, compared to...
Yeah,
oh no,
maybe Sete Kamara was waiting at the wrong light.
Yeah.
He was waiting at the sort of repeater light rather than the actual light
there we
at
go.
the end of the pit lane. And I can see why he's come to a red light and thought...
And stopped.
But maybe he was meant to... When the light went green, that was to release him from the end of the pit lane. So I think Sete Kamara's been in the wrong position.
Yeah.
So...
I know, it does make sense. I did think they were a bit close to Hughes from the previous group as well.
You know what I mean?
So Sete Kamara just got caught out because he's not been in the duels all that often.
Exactly what went wrong. Well, we'll find out, that's for sure, when the semi-finals get underway in a few moments' time. So, frustration for Nick Cassidy, not quite making it through to the duels. Did he get balked? Let's find out. He's with Radzi.
Well, let's see what Nick Cassidy has to say then.
It's a crazy situation that I've just seen you running up and down the paddock here trying to establish if you were going to make the duels, and the situation is you didn't.
Yes, correct.
And with that context, it was that ultimately you were impeded by Maximilian, and then you were trying to find out with the tyre pressure. Is that the case?
No, yeah, I mean, I guess Max was pushing, so that's life, that's racing. I think just one of the other cars in the top 4 was under investigation, so we're just waiting for that to see what happened. But yeah, that's how it goes.
Just mentally, how tough is that when you have that uncertainty about whether you're going to be in it or not?
I don't mind. I mean, it was a bonus. In the end, we qualified 5th. That was where our pace was. So if we were put into the duels, then that was a bit of luck. But 5th was where our pace was.
And finally, this is a huge weekend for the championship standings. You're right in amongst it. Now the fact that Pascal Wehrlein isn't in duels as well, how do you sort of approach the race?
Honestly, I haven't seen the order. I don't know where people are, but there's still 8 races. There's still quite a long time, and each one's important. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
Race well today, mate. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Cheers, Nick. Thank you.
We've got the onboard here from Sergei Setecamera, I should say. So this is the repeater line.
Got Sergio's name completely wrong there,
As you
Karim.
can see, the light is red. Now, actually, what he should have done is move forward to this next set of lights. So at this stage, as Jack was explaining in commentary, that light, when it went green there, that's when he should have gone. He didn't, because he was parked at the wrong spot. And then when they get here, the light is red. So you can see quite clearly the light there up on the side is red. And as you can see, when he moves forward, there, he's gone past it. So the drivers are all explained. These are the regulations. They're given drawings from the race director. They get to a driver's briefing. So it's all explained. Unfortunately, he got the procedure wrong, and we'll see what the stewards have to say on it.
Yeah, fascinating. You can even see Sergio Setecamera's hand there, couldn't you? Being like, what? Why have they turned the red light on? So that is under investigation. Right,
Here we go, semi-final 1 about to get underway. Norman Nato versus Sasha Fenestraz.
For the Monaco E-Prix, will it be Nato or Fenestraz? You guys think it is going to be Fenestraz. But Norman Nato.
Oh, I think it's going to be Norman. Come on, Norman. Stallman Norman.
Fenestraz lining up in the pit lane. Back out onto the circuit. Jake Hughes will be in the second semi-final. Who will he be up against? TBD.
Yeah, so no news
about
yet.
To get underway in Monaco. On the left-hand side there, you see Sasha Fenestraz. It will be him versus his Nissan teammate Norman Nato. A fun little duo, those two actually. Quite chummy, both quite chummy. French, or ish.
Nissan Formula E.
Argentinian for
Sasha Fenestraz, also for Nissan Formula E.
Hello, Ed. Now,
Hello.
all fixed.
Yeah, looks like you did a good job there.
Ethernet cable.
Unlike, by the sounds of things, Sergio Setecamera, who went at the wrong light in the pit lane. He went at the repeater light when he should have been at all the way at the end of the pit lane. So it does sound like Maserati are definitely going to be protesting against that and hoping that Gunther can get through. But in the meantime, we've got the Nissan duel. We got Nato versus Sasha Fenestraz. So this is interesting. First time we've seen two Nissans get to the semi-finals. I'm
looking forward to this. How much is Buemi regretting leaving at the moment? Nissan 1-2 in Monaco.
Probably not that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Given, the results they envisioned so far this season. 2 pole positions, by the way.
Is this what's delaying the session then?
Might literally just be so they can work out who's into the next semi-final.
Semi-final should have started.
Jake Hughes.
Yeah, semi-final should have started 2 minutes ago. I would like this to hurry up because I'd actually like to watch the coronation. Whether it's good or not.
Some of those have got real life and high stakes motorsport to get invested in, Josh. I'm sorry that the Monaco E-Prix inconvenienced your precious coronation.
But it's Monaco, which I find hilarious. Scott Elkin.
Has a note. So that's Scott Elkins.
I didn't hear any of that.
I was really angry.
Well, that looks as though maybe they've got the decision from the stewards on that, because Scott Elkins is in charge of enforcing the rules, as it were. But he's or kind of I guess not enforcing the rules. He's got to kind of keep everything going the right, but he's not actually the man making the decisions about what is right and what is wrong.
The thing is, though, looking at this in terms of the times of where we've got after the final, we've got the track activity for 1 hour 50 minutes. Then we've got the medical inspection. Then the pit lane opens at 23. We're on here at 1:30. Race starts at 2:04, 29 laps. Then the podium straight away.
I was seeing a tweet here from somebody saying, it would be harsh to penalise Sede Kamara when race control is confusing people with 2 sets of pit lights.
Yeah, that's confusing.
I mean, everyone else sort of got it right,
hang on.
so I guess Cedric's saying...
He's having a discussion.
I thought Skalakis was talking to us then. He's not.
Why would he talk to us? We're not important.
Yeah. We're nobody's compared to him. Although, I'm really quite surprised if this takes any longer. The session's now 4 minutes overrun. Why can't we just run the first group? Get Nato and Vestrez out there, and then we can run.
Because once the first group's released, remember they have to come out of the pit lane while the first group's going.
Of course, there would be a delay. I'm surprised. Monaco actually. I'm surprised actually, considering that they were actually told the FIA that don't. This is true, by the way. I'm not making this up or anything. The FIA were told don't overrun the coronation because we're in Monaco, house of the royal family, which are related to the royal family of the Great Britain. Set a camera, cancel best lap time for qualifying procedure. There we go.
There we go. Confirmation then.
That puts Gunther through. So it's Gunther going through.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sergio. I'll tell you what, Dan Tickton wouldn't have made that mistake, but he got out in the earlier duel, of course. So I guess they're going to start roughly in the same position now.
Let's get going then. We're fine now. Let's run with it. Although, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, to be fair, with this, because they said don't overrun it, whatever you do. That's why I presume they'll crunch down the final time and get everyone going. But come on, let's get going.
Oh, no, I don't know how they can do that because they've got the built-in delay they need to sort of recharge the cars and stuff.
Well, we'll be on a quick off then. Sounds awful, but I would actually quite like to see it.
It does sound awful, you're right. Well, you know, it's a bit ironic me saying this because I missed the last race to commentate on go-karting. To be fair, that's technically still motorsport.
That is motorsport,
and we had Jess to fill in as well. Who's going to fill in for you? Jess,
yeah, probably. I can't call Jess because Jess not here. Tom's busy.
The coronation.
No, I think Jess is... I know. Tom's in London.
Yeah, Sandberg, isn't it?
Yeah, the fool has gone to London on Coronation Day. He's going to... On the M25 as well. He's got... Oh, he'll see... yeah, we probably won't see Tom for the rest of the year.
Well, he's in a car.
Yeah. We won't see him for the rest of the year. He'll be stuck on the M25.
Oh, he's technically a team co-owner of us.
That's true,
GD3 team, which has gone from strength to strength, really. Our guys have got new wheels.
Notice, 1 minute notice. In 1 minute, we will allow the cars to enter the pit lane.
So, 7 minutes
60 seconds
later.
then until Norman Nato and Sasha Fenestraz go into the pit lane and get released for their semi-final duel. Or is it quarter-final, sorry.
Just for a royal update, the King and Queen have passed Downing Street. And they are now coming up towards the curve for Westminster.
I guess they would, in order to get to, where is it,
Westminster Abbey, yeah. I think Charles becomes the 14th monarch to be crowned at Westminster Abbey. Usually it was, before that, it was done at St Paul's Cathedral. Not this time, however.
Hey, the only prince I want to see during this weekend is Prince Rainier giving that trophy at the end.
That's the little kid,
give me
isn't
all
it?
this Charles nonsense.
Yeah. He's the little kid, isn't he? Prince Rainier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forget the one that I forget the name of the prince and
Prince
the
Albert,
guy
isn't it?
the monarch. Albert, that's the guy who gives the trophy, and his wife was it Charlotte?
Yes, Princess Charlotte. Yeah.
There we go.
Just reminded me about that.
Well, we've got a great view of the cherry blossoms, which I've tried painstakingly to
Oh,
put
wow.
into my Lego car.
That was great.
It's really hard to get some of the tinier cherry blossoms, but basically the ones, it's the same one but reversed on either side because I noticed they were coming at different parts of the side pod. Almost like they've got actual cherry blossom coming out there. But anyway, the cherry blossom Nissan Yacht, great place to party. So we hear Fenestraz right here.
Fantastic figures in Super Formula. hence
No, we don't hear anything. Sorry, ladies and gents.
Cheers, Dario.
Speaking of it.
Well,
Well,
he's
to be
even
fair,
back.
maybe they went. He pressed the button, didn't say anything, and then Dario was just speaking over because there was nothing coming out for him to interrupt.
Yeah, that's true. I've walked down there in London, actually, near Downing Street. There's a nice little,
Okay.
there's a nice little antique shop on the entrance next to the tram station when you come out from there.
There's Sede Kamara looking a little annoyed.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's going to be really, really, really annoying.
They
FIA
did all the
getting
work
won.
to win that duel, and then got done for not coming out the pit lane at the right point. So that's going to be gutting. He's going to be arguing about that, isn't he?
Can he swear? No? Okay.
Oh no! Look, the PR lady is saying, "Don't go over there. Don't go to the stewards because they'll kill you again."
I think that was Sophie Bierman, isn't it? Who is the partner of Matt Gallagher. Who works for
Whatever.
Formula
I
E.
don't really care about Matthew Gallagher or his partner. Apparently, they're live streaming P1 with Matt and Tommy or whatever they're called.
That's the one,
They're doing
yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
I guess they'll actually get to live stream it because they're more important. Supposedly, according to, as we see, NATO and now Fenestras starting their laps then, Josh. So this is really important, a place on the front row up for grabs for Uwe Nissan.
Message correction. Related to car 3, Seto Camera, disqualification from the duels qualifying procedure. So it's not his best lap time, so he'll go back on the duels only. But NATO versus Fenestras.
Fenestras up at the moment,
yeah,
1/10.
This is looking good. First sector time's coming up for him, though.
Remember how quick NATO was in the final sector, but also Fenestras was pretty tidy there as well. So this is really about building that momentum and keeping it going then. So now Fenestras goes through the hairpin and down towards Portier. Recognize him because of that green helmet, whereas NATO's got the sort of Jules Bianchi tribute helmet. There we go.
Whoa.
NATO through the chicane has already started to catch up a little bit then.
The game is on as they come through.
Love that camera angle as well on the
great.
exit to back as well. That just wouldn't work for Formula One, would it?
No.
Because they'd be out of the frame too quickly.
Perfect for Formula E.
But there we go,
They are getting quicker.
5-2 in it then. So NATO's just got 2 more corners to go.
NATO's
Him
sliding.
And the checkered flag. But Fenestras fights back through the chicane then.
Let's see what NATO's time is across the line to set the banker. It's a 1:29.236. Fenestras is ahead at the moment by over a tenth into Anthony Noakes. He's way ahead by 3
Fenestras
tenths.
3/10, yeah. So Fenestras is really pulling that out now. Towards the line they go. And can it be another pole position? At least it's going to be another front row. Well,
Yes!
Fenestras 4 tenths ahead of Norman NATO, who nonetheless did pretty well to get this far through qualifying.
Fenestras absolutely dominating in his first full season of Formula E. Made his debut back in Seoul last year as well. And now it's Gunther versus Hughes in this next session. Let's have Fenestras.
To the final. Come on, little man. Says
What?
Come
I
on.
didn't hear the first bit, so I assume he said, the race engineer said already, come on, little man, you're into the final.
I hope so.
There we go. Oh, big lot of Jake Hughes fans then, because about 80% have voted for him in the Nemo McLaren, which I'm going to insist on calling it from now on.
The Nemo McLaren, okay.
In fact, I do it in all the graphics from Formula E Zone as well. If
I
you've
thought
seen
so,
the interview
yeah.
with Jake Hughes, I call him that as well. And nobody is, neither Jack nor Pico has noticed.
If they're listening
That tells
to
you
us
how
right now,
much
which
care they put in. Oh, go on.
they're listening to us right now, then they might have just twigged.
I seriously doubt they are.
I listen to their
Not-
shows. They could listen to mine.
But they're on site
They're on
at the
site,
moment
yeah,
in
yeah.
Monaco. They're almost certainly listening to Jack and Dario.
Yeah, the professionals.
As
instead of
everyone
the-
else that's got the
Yeah.
free-to-air coverage.
Yeah, they're the professionals instead of the colleagues. Dear. It's like when we caught Sam and Lazenby listening to Channel 4.
We do have our new member, Alessia, who manages the Jake Dennis Struggles Twitter account.
Oh, is
So-
that? Oh, wow. I
She's
going
going to be there this weekend as well. She started working for us.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
follow her,
Hughes
yeah.
starts a lap, and now it's Gunther versus Hughes then. Gunther slightly delayed then in the second semi-final, and it just figures that I had to wear the Neo shirt today, and Sede Kamara messes up so royally. But Hughes looks like he might get through anyway, so it's literally going to be one position on the grid difference between Gunther and Sede Kamara.
Into the braking zone then. At the moment, Hughes is ahead, but Gunther's catching him through Mirabeau into the Grand Hotel hairpin. down through the
I'm still
first
going to call it
Portier.
Lowe's hairpin.
It is
before
Lowe's,
that
yeah.
station hairpin.
Yeah. Through Portier, that isn't quite Portier anymore because of the buildings on the outside. Through the tunnel. This is great from Hughes. He's 2.5 tenths ahead of Gunther.
Into the chicane they go. Piscine. Right up against the wall, as close as you can get. But Jake Hughes continuing to consolidate that advantage. Anyway, through to back they come. And, both of them, again, very close. Hughes gets a little bit squirrely on exit as they both push like crazy. And has Gunther caught up just a little bit? I don't think he has. I think Hughes is still about 3 tenths ahead then as they go into Raskas.
A little bit wide at the side. Who's going to be in the final?
And
It's
Hughes
Hughes.
into Anthony Nose, or as I called it earlier, Anthony Hughes.
He's going to need it.
5 tenths between the two, and it's Jake Hughes through.
Wow. Half a second, as Jack Nichols said in the background there. Hughes goes through. McLaren make it to the final.
And it's so funny
Fenestras.
because in the interview that John Armando did with Jake Hughes, he said, feels like your season's dropped off, isn't it, from earlier, hasn't it?
Oh, Jack Giamano's giving him some look then.
He's fired him up, is what he's done. He's annoyed him enough into doing a really good qualifying.
Oh, Prince Harry's there. I've just seen him.
At Monaco?
No. I've got on the iPad. I've got the coronation because
I know he went to America to get away, but this seems a bit like kind of. You want to see your own dad's coronation that badly? You go to Monaco to watch Formula E.
I can't see. Well, the King and Queen aren't there yet, and neither is the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. No, Duke and Duchess of Wales
to see
now.
how many people actually care about this coronation nonsense.
Quite a bit. Right, let's throw over. The final will be Fenestras and Hughes. I'll pass over to Jack and Dario as well.
12 or something, or a Hamilton or something, I don't know. Anyway, they've got one now. Jake Hughes. I mean, he's been so... And I spoke to him in the week, Jake Hughes, for a podcast. And I said it to his face. Well, it was on a Zoom call, but I said it to his sort of virtual face. That when he was announced he was joining, I was there when he did his first championship win. I commentated on him in his first year of car racing. So I've known the guy a long time. He's very good. He's very good. But coming into FE, come on, you got to be one of the best drivers in the world coming to FE, and he was just looked quite good, And he said the same himself. He said he'd never actually had the equipment or the budget or whatever to properly test himself against the best, so he didn't know either, and has been very pleased with how it's gone. Right, final will be getting underway in about 5 minutes' time. It'll be Jake Hughes versus Sasha Fenestras, both looking for their second pole position of the season. And what a place to do it in Monaco.
Yeah, there we go then. So
Hughes and Fenestras in the final in a few moments' time.
Cape Town.
But let's go and find out what
in Saudi
Nicky Shields is
Arabia
up
for
to this
Nemo
afternoon.
McLaren. I looked at the chat. It's only a SHG.
Well, have a guess, Jack. I'm hanging out here with racing drivers.
Kamara.
Sergio Sette Camara, though, hugely disappointing session there. I mean, congrats through to the duels, qualifying P8. But from your perspective, I mean, we've watched the replay a couple of times. What was actually going through your mind while sitting in the cockpit?
Well, so I asked my engineer, which light should I stop? And he said the first light. So then I stopped on the first line. As soon as it went green, I went. But when I reached the second light, it was red. And of course, red, you cannot go. So I was confused as to what happened. I knew there was going to be some talks about qualifying procedure, but I did my lap. I beat Gunther. I beat Gunther, and then I got the news that I was disqualified. I think it's just bad for everyone that the faster driver gets taken out by something like this. I asked my team for the instruction. I followed it as they gave it to me, and now I could be starting in Monaco front row or second row, and instead I'll be starting 8th, which is not what I wanted. So I'm a bit disappointed, and I'm curious to see exactly the reasons why it happened and work to not let it ever happen again.
Absolutely. So do you think it could have been an issue leaving the garage too late?
Yeah, I spoke to one of my team members, Team Briscoe, actually went to the stewards, and they said it was something to do with when we left the garage. So I'm confused. Anyway, like in general, they should give the penalty after the qualifying session. Let us qualify, let us do our laps. If you're going to penalize the driver after the session. If you don't let him move on, then it's over for him. So it's really frustrating, yeah.
But what can you do from 8th position? Can you claw your way a little bit ahead?
It's always difficult for us with the efficiency, I won't lie. But we got to be smart. Anyway, to be honest, for the race, it doesn't change too much where you're starting because nobody wants to lead, as we've seen in Berlin. But for a driver, you want to shine in qualifying, you want to be starting up there. That's what hurts most. For the race, I think from 8th or for 4th, you can do more or less the same.
Absolutely. Well, good luck for the race. And obviously, it was still a special moment to see both the Neos in the duel. Thanks very much. Sergio Soto camera.
Yeah, it really was a treat to see the Neos in the duels there. I mean, they've done exceptionally well so far this season.
Yeah, they have, and it's a shame. I feel bad for Sete. You know, the stewards, they read the rule book black and white, and that's just the way it goes. There's no negotiating there.
But it's so nice hearing a driver fight his corner so well, so articulate.
Yes, and that conversation is going to continue. I do believe that
2.5 minutes
yeah,
still.
the words spoken by Sete were true, and you know, he should be out there right now.
All right, we've got a big final coming up. It's going to be really exciting. Looking forward
couple of
to
rookies.
It. Yeah, a couple of rookies in there. Good point in your waffle shirt. Loving it. It's getting a lot colder here in Monaco. The sun has disappeared. It's quite chilly now. Let's go back to our commentary team, shall we? Of Jack and Dario.
So the final getting underway in a few moments' time. The record for the fastest lap in Monaco is a 1 minute 28.773. And that was set by Sacha Fenestraz in that semi-final. So he's got the fastest lap in Monaco in Formula E, and he's got the fastest lap in Formula E history in Cape Town. So he's a quick guy, Sacha Fenestraz. Get your votes in on Formula E Predictor. Who's going to win this final? And also you can then make predictions for the race itself as well.
Not going to lie, I'm
on this
hoping
afternoon
Fenestraz gets this
3 o'clock local time, so 3 hours and 5 minutes.
With all due
until the
respect
racing
to Jake Hughes, I think
begins
it's a brilliant driver.
on the streets of
So would
Monaco.
like to see Nissan on pole again.
So-
At home, of course.
Sergio
Oh, wow.
Sydney camera.
They used to be a French
Missing
team
out.
when they were Renault, and then now Nissan.
It's so interesting. It's Dario, it's so tight, isn't it? It's so close between
Definitely
all
be a
these
home
different
pole for a
powertrain manufacturers. But Nissan are the most sort of variable, they feel. They're back at the grid in Berlin because they can't do traction. This is where we're at with the ladder. Now it's 2 Nissan powertrains in the final, and it's 3 of the 4 cars got through to the duels. Suddenly they're quick again.
Yeah, it's a huge turnaround. Let's see what their powertrain efficiency brings in the race, but this is a big boost for Nissan. They've really been up against it. They haven't changed any of the hardware, any of the actual physical parts, apparently. It's all just been software upgrades. Shows how important they are. We've seen it multiple times with the old Generation 2 car in Formula E. So important to get the software right.
The final in the battle for pole.
I just want to say, Delgado then and no one cares. Well, nobody cares either what you think. If that's your opinion.
Well, I wouldn't say nobody cares, but I was thinking nobody that's here to watch Formula E is particularly fussed about.
I mean, you don't
to an
have to
extent.
watch
There's
it.
an extent that you care about Formula E enough
Yeah.
to at least dedicate some attention to it, eh, Josh?
Yeah, but you don't have to watch us. There are many other people available. But just be nice. Don't spread hate. That's one thing I don't like and I won't stand for.
He's sort of forcing his opinion on others. Which
Yes.
is the issue. I don't think he's spreading hate.
I still don't like
He's
it.
just saying that he's not into the royal family. There are perfectly legitimate reasons not to be.
Oh, is he talking about the royal family or more?
Yeah, he is.
Oh.
I think that's what he's saying.
I don't know. Either way. Well, they've just
we could
walked in.
ask.
Go on.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Delgado has clicked on this hoping for Formula E final, and
here we
looks
are.
like it's gotten away. Yeah, 7 people watching right now. So hopefully Delgado didn't just disappear. He's not had either. Anyway.
They're just walking down the.
Looks like it's going to be
Fenestraz.
Hughes first and then Fenestraz. So I don't know. I think all signs here pointing to Sacha Fenestraz on pole, Josh.
Yeah, I've just been told that the coronation goes on for 2 hours.
Jesus.
I know. I mean, what's so hard about putting a crown on somebody's head? It's a half-hour thing max.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to get everyone to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I guess,
God.
and hope that King Charles will live forever or whatever nonsense.
Can I just point out one thing about this? Is the fact is that
I want people to talk into their TVs. The only talking into TV I want to do is this right
yeah.
here.
Funerals take 35 to 40 minutes. This coronation takes 2 hours. Why? What the hell is going on? I'll never get it.
That's a very heavy crown. He's a very old man, Josh.
Yeah, someone to get William ready. Okay, coming through for the final then of Formula E's Monaco E-Prix. And again, Hughes was a little bit sideways coming out of the last corner. He starts his banker lap time as right behind will come Sasha Fenestras. Apparently Gunther is now under investigation for a driving infringement as well. So the grid's going to look completely different to what we finally have it here. At least we know who's going to be on pole.
It's a penalty anyway
Yeah.
for the blocking Cassidy earlier. So that's going to annoy Cedric Kumar even more, because we did an interview while you were away, Josh. He seemed a bit annoyed that they didn't just do the penalty afterwards, because he won that duel fair and square. So it was just the pit lane. He was told to stop at the first light, and that by his engineer, and that's what he did. And it turns out that wasn't what he was supposed to do. Hughes up at the first split anyway, but immediately down at split 2.
I think he touched the wall.
Oh, not by much though.
I think he touched the wall coming out of the first half of the...
It's gone a bit... it's just come back now, but it was a bit slideshow for me there, Josh.
This is getting very interesting then for Hughes versus Fenestras. It's so tight. Oh, he's locked in. He's lost it. Hughes locks the rear, coming into the Newville chicane, and has lost
Just
pole.
pushing that bit too hard.
Fenestras will have pole position. Hughes will be second, and the final becomes meaningless.
Well, no. Well, it was high stakes until that moment, but that's what happens when you're under pressure. Fenestras is going to make sure he keeps it together, but he would have been told over the radio, right, Hughes went straight on, and there we go, 4 temps. It's only cost him 4 temps apparently, which I'm not quite sure I believe that.
His first ever Formula E pole is seconds away. Hughes has continued.
No, it's not his first, because he was on pole in Cape Town as well, remember?
That's true. Second pole position for Fenestras. Second of the season then. Out of the last corner, he's 2 seconds ahead. Sasha Fenestras for Nissan dominates Monaco and takes pole. Fabulous run for him. Really well done. Nissan are delighted.
Look at the celebration as well in Nissan garage.
Norman
and even
Nato.
Norman Nato cracks a smile, because he sort of wanted his teammate on pole as well, I think.
Who wouldn't crack
he
a
couldn't
smile?
be there.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So, session concludes. And now we have to go through the entire grid, which is going to look completely different anyway. So
It's interesting when it comes to these driver circuits, Sasha Fenestras is the thing that makes the difference, isn't it? Cape Town, you had to be really ballsy. And here, it's a very low-speed circuit by comparison, at least. And again, he delivered the goods. So, real star on this Sands here.
I think he's happy. That's Sasha Fenestras. He's very happy. Right, that'll do it for us here.
Must
then.
be about the King's coronation.
That's
Must be
where I'm off.
celebrate. Yes, he's got to be king. Oh, and also I'm on pole. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, what's that thing? I did hear King Charles woke up this morning singing The Lion King. Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Okay.
No, that's good. Okay, well, Ed, what a race we've got coming up later. What are you predicting as we look at Hughes' mistake at the chicane?
You know what? I think Fenestras might be able to hold on, but I think Jake Hughes is going to be quite fired up. We remember we got NATO not far behind. We got the Neos that both. I said Cameron was going to be fired up starting 8th. I think there's going to be a bit of chaos. There's going to be a lot of energy saving, and I think it's going to come down to who's got the most energy when it comes to the final lap. And remember, we got the Jaguars and the Porsches a little bit out of position as well. So I predict they're going to fight their way through.
It's going to be a mega session for the race. We can't wait. Monaco gives us the dramatic stuff we want. And
Fenestras is good fun on the radio.
This was nice one. Monaco, beep beep, way, beep beep, way.
Well, Sasha's just lost it.
Hip hip hooray. he's really getting into royal celebrations.
Right, the Kings arrived at the front of Westminster Abbey, and the qualifying session's over. So, Ed, thank you very much. We'll see you for the race at 1:30. And to all of you at home, thank you very much too. We'll be back for all the action. Don't forget, practice 2 for the British Touring Cars is at 12:05. At least the touring car drivers are getting with it. They missed the coronation. Although I do know that the track is actually showing it on the big screens at Brands. So, my thanks to you, Ed. My thanks to all you at home. We'll see you later on. Bye-bye.